Tonight, day 2 of the city's budget discussions are taking place today at City Hall. Plus, while it's only January, it's still a good time to review your insurance policy to make sure you are covered from natural disasters. And the Prince George Spruce Kings will take to the ice tonight against the Surrey Eagles. Good evening and welcome to CKPG News. I'm Adam Burles. Well, day 2 of budget discussions are currently underway at Council Chambers tonight, and joining us live from City Hall is CKPG News' Cheryl Jan. Cheryl.
Well, thanks, Adam. Well, we're now into round 2 of budget discussions. We've been at it since 1 o'clock this afternoon. We've gone through a whole bunch of different budgets, from asset management to facilities to operations to you name it, IT, financial, the whole thing. One of the big discussions was around the operations budget, and the two perennial favorites that come out of that budget are snow removal and road rehab. Snow removal road rehabs, currently the budget's at 6.7 million. There is a recommendation from administration to up that by $300,000, putting us at $7 million. Now, the road rehab budget last year was $10.3 million. They want to up that by $700,000 and bring it to $11 million. However, Councillor Ron Paluto did tell staff and administration and council that he intends to put a motion forward to drop that by $500,000, bringing it to $10.5 million. Two other councillors, Councillor Trudy Clausen and Councillor Garth Frizzell, suggested they would like to see that dropped by actually a whole million. Now, the snow removal budget does have a surplus, a kitty, if you want, of $2.3 roughly million. However, the snow removal budget is a bit different in that it operates under a calendar year as opposed to a fiscal year. So we could tentatively have a big snowfall here in January or February, and it would wipe that surplus right out. However, do note, at this point, nothing has been decided. So if we settle where we are right now, we are looking at a tax hike of 5.83%. Stay tuned. There is a lot more to go. We have all the amendments that councillors have talked about yet to discuss. It's either going to be a very, very long evening or perhaps even another meeting. Back to you, Adam.
All right, thank you very much, Cheryl. And yes, stay tuned and we will have the details on what happens tonight and if there will need to be another meeting. So thank you again, Cheryl. Well, with wildfire season just around the corner and the recent disasters in Los Angeles is still fresh in many people's minds, insurance brokers are urging homeowners to make sure they've got the right coverage. Dave Branco is here with tips on how to protect yourself and your property.
As the smoke begins to clear from the wildfires that swept through parts of Los Angeles, the financial impact is starting to come into focus. Insured losses expected to reach billions of dollars. This has insurance brokers urging homeowners to stay on top of their policies and make sure they fully understand what's covered.
We are here to help and guide customers through the complexity of an insurance policy. We want customers to understand what they're purchasing, what they're covered for, and what they're not. Insurance policies does not cover everything. There is exclusions.
Last year, the earliest wildfire in BC causing property damage occurred in Fort Nelson. Meantime, many homeowners in Southern California are now grappling with the difficult decision of whether to rebuild. Insurance brokers are urging homeowners to renew their policies before wildfires get dangerously close to their homes.
In the event that a forest fire is within 25 to 50 kilometers of your house at the time of renewal, we will not be able to make any increases. Insurance companies place restrictions on our binding authority of what we can do and what changes we can make to your policy. So it's adequate. If you've made changes to your policy, come in well ahead of flooding and fire season.
In British Columbia, experts forecasting extreme weather events like flooding, forest fires, and windstorms.
Yeah, British Columbia can see the extremes of drought from 2022. In the summer of 2022, we always had very dry conditions following a wet spring, and that lasted until last summer. And so we had a 2-year period with very dry conditions, and obviously that led to massive wildfires across northern British Columbia, across the entire province. The other extreme is when conditions are too wet. So we've seen atmospheric rivers.
It's worth noting that some insurance companies might not cover natural disaster for structures like sheds or other outbuildings on your property. Taking steps to fire smart your home and carefully reviewing your insurance policy are excellent ways to safeguard both your family and your finances. Dave Branco, CKPG News.
Prince George RCMP are asking for your help finding a wanted man. Jeffrey Brian Arnold is wanted on several warrants, including theft under $5,000, impaired driving, driving without a license, and more. He is listed as 6 feet tall and 210 pounds with brown hair and blue eyes, and he has tattoos on both of his arms. If you see him, please do not approach him as he is considered dangerous, and instead call the Prince George RCMP instead. Fraser Fort George 911 will be taking over answering 911 calls. Starting in 2026, all 911 calls answered in the Fraser Fort George, Bulkley, Chaco, Caribou, and Kitimat-Stikine regions will go through the Regional District of Fraser Fort George. Since 2014, the regional districts had a contract that would send these calls to Vancouver, which would then be rerouted to the appropriate local emergency response teams. However, in 2026, these calls will now go through the regional district of Fraser Fort George, located in Prince George. Being able to apply local knowledge to emergencies is expected to provide better service for the 4 regions, but there are also economic benefits, as this will also create local jobs. In 2024, more than 100,000 calls were made in the 4 regional districts. UMBC is opening its doors for its researchers. Researchers at the University of Northern British Columbia will have new capacity to see their innovative ideas mobilized from the laboratory to marketplace through a federal funding program. The idea is to help young researchers transfer their knowledge into practical application. The program is collectively offered between UMBC and Simon Fraser University, and it's seen as a unique opportunity.
The money will be used to offer the training and to provide financial support for the students. We will also be receiving some funds here through the Simon Fraser network because we'll be doing a project on developing a strategy for northern universities. And so we'll be having some funds to hire either students or postdocs to help us. It gives you the opportunity to learn about how you can think of your research in terms of its real-world application and impact. And, you know, the idea of looking at a market or, you know, what would be a business strategy or how to run a company, it's not something that researchers typically think about. But they have all these great ideas and these great developments that they've produced. So giving them this opportunity is, I think, really exciting.
The CN Centre has unveiled a new mural. Painted by local artist Mercedes Mink, the mural portrays Prince George and its nature. Tommy Osborne was there for the unveiling and brings us more on what inspired the work and the artist behind it.
A new mural was unveiled at the CN Centre. Painted by local artist Mercedes Mink, she wanted to create something that represented the best of Prince George. There were several ideas surrounding hockey for the mural being in the CN Centre, including a mean grizzly bear eating a puck. But Mink says she wanted to create something that captures the Prince George experience shared by most, being the beautiful wildlife that surrounds us.
I wanted to represent those aspects and those experiences that I've had here where I'm connected to something small but vibrant.
The designing began in October and the painting took a bit over a week with 8-hour days, but the work is well worth it for the beautiful finished product thousands will see.
People don't know that we have beautiful things and we care about community and art, and yeah, I want to foster that in Prince George.
For Northern British Columbia, there are more people that come through our venue than any other, and so to have an opportunity to showcase a young artist like Mercedes is a wonderful opportunity for us, and she just did, as you can see behind me, a remarkable job.
The mural is all about community, and Mink says it was especially special to paint in a public space, engage with people walking by, and even get some help from kids who painted some fish.
My mom worked with one of the kids' parents, and I guess when she went to work the next day, the kid's mom was like, he came home raving that he got to paint a fish for the rest of his life. He's going to be talking about how he helped paint this mural. And so after that, anytime I saw a little kid, I'd be like, do you want to come paint this? Because I'm like, you know, what if I was that little kid and that was a really formative experience that made me want to keep doing stuff like that, you know?
Other aspects of the mural were also directly inspired by community.
The bear was actually not in the original design, One of my friends who I met through walking around here, we were chatting and laughing about the mural, and she said, you know what it needs? It needs a garbage can at every house with a bear beside it. And I was like, you're right, we do need that. So the bear was not originally in it and was added in, and I think was a key addition from the crowd.
Mink has painted other murals, including at Lululemon, Physio North, and the bike park in Mackenzie. Tommy Osborne, CKPG News.
And we're off. The Liberal Party leadership race has officially begun. And before you know it, it will be all over by March 9th. The two frontrunners are Chrystia Freeland and the former Bank of Canada and England Governor Mark Carney. Freeland, the former longtime Deputy Prime Minister and Finance Minister, tried to distance herself from the extremely unpopular Prime Minister Trudeau by publicly throwing him under the bus and forcing his resignation, calling him out for costly political gimmicks in the new budget. Her see the light moment only coming, of course, after she got the axe. Would Freeland's leadership be enough to turn around the government's ailing fortunes? I suspect Kim Campbell, who took over from a very unpopular Conservative Prime Minister Brian Mulroney after, like Trudeau, 9 years in power, could provide some insight on Freeland's chances. The Tories suffered the worst political defeat in Canadian history, leaving that party with only 2 seats across Canada in 1993. Should Mark Carney win, I suspect the Liberal Party's chances would be no better. Like Freeland, he grew up in Alberta, but his life experience has taken him so far away from today's typical Canadian hardships and challenges that his awkward attempt to connect with voters at his campaign launch in an Edmonton hockey rink was unconvincing in the least. This longtime economist, Wall Street investment banker, and corporate board member clearly has a resume to direct a national economy. But can he make a connection with the average Canadian voter? Time will tell. One thing for sure, this novice politician will have to work on his presentation skills so his audiences don't completely fall asleep in the first 5 minutes. Regardless of who wins, the Liberal Party is already on fire and headed for an iceberg. Let the Eastern establishment elites go down with the ship and allow the party to do a proper rebuild with a minimum 6-month leadership contest to find a long-term leader who is not associated with the Trudeau government and can actually offer something different, authentic, and appealing to Canadian voters. I'm Chris Beach, and this is A Northern View.
The lowest gas price in Prince George is $1.54.9 per litre at Costco. The lowest gas price in BC currently is in Grand Forks at $1.48.7 per litre. Alberta currently has the lowest gas prices in the country on average at $1.48.1 per litre. Meanwhile, BC has an average price of $1.73.1 per litre.
CKPG Sports is delivered by Domino's. Feed your team tonight with a delicious mix and match combo. Chicken, pizza, pasta, or dessert for just $8.99 per item.
The Spurs Kings are back at Copar Memorial Arena tonight to bring the BCHL's All-Star break to an end against the Surrey Eagles. Jane DeMello brings us more on the matchup and the team's newest forward acquisitions.
Over the past couple of weeks, the Kings have acquired 2 players from the North American Hockey League, adding forwards Corson McGuire and Nick Metelkin.
I move the puck pretty well. I think I like to have the puck on my stick, and I can make plays, but I can also score a couple goals.
I'm a smart, hard-working forward. I love to win battles. I'm not the flashiest when it comes to with the puck, but like I said, I keep it smart. I play simple, and when the time comes, I can put the puck in the net.
While they both came from teams in Texas, McGuire was brought in from the Amarillo Wranglers, the team Taylor Harnett coached before joining PG's hockey operations.
He's a great human, a great teammate. I think that's, the biggest box we checked off right away, and he's got a great skill set. He's coachable and he understands how to play the game the right way. So excited to get him in the lineup.
He's a great coach. I mean, he knows a lot. He's very smart, teaches the game well, and knows how to keep it simple and get down to the basics. And I mean, I built a really good relationship with him and Amarillo, so excited to keep that going, have a familiar face around the rink.
While the Toronto native will make his debut tonight, Metelkin joined the team just in time for his debut against Alberni and their Indigenous Night celebration.
Surreal. The jerseys were sick one of the nights, so that was a plus. But first sweep in I don't know how many years, so that was great.
With the amount of turnover the team's seen over the past 6 weeks, including a couple more moving on over the All-Star break, the Kings are remaining optimistic in these unprecedented times.
It's been an interesting few weeks, for myself. Been here over a month now and seen a few new faces come in. But you know what? I think that there's opportunities everywhere, and I think that internally as an organization we're looking at ourselves, and players got to look at the opportunities that are presented to them and make the most of it. So we got some new faces, but a good thing about guys coming in is they put on their skates and then their equipment and they're still playing hockey.
I'm excited. I mean, luckily I've had this week to kind of get my feet under me and find a way into the lineup, and I mean, whatever the team needs I'm able to bring. So I'm excited to get the games going and play with the team and get under it and start fresh.
Prince George will host the Surrey Eagles for the final time this season with their only midweek clash of the year at Copar Memorial Arena. Jaden Amello, CKPG News.
The TSX is up 30 points to close at 25,311. The Dow Jones is up 131 points to close at 44,156. And Artemis Gold is up 6 cents to close at $15.50.
Good evening, everybody. We are looking at some snow in the forecast for tonight. Some of those flurries will linger a little bit into the early morning. Southeasterly winds, quite gusty as well as we move through the night tonight and into the afternoon. But the good news is we have a really nice clearing trend on the way after we see this frontal system kind of push further south. So this was back earlier today. Of course, this is the frontal zone that is aimed towards the north coast there earlier, and that was spreading a lot of rain showers and gusty winds and pushing inland to us. So yeah, that's why we're seeing the potential for more flurries and snowfall as we move into the evening. But then it slides to the south, and there we go for the southern part of the province. They'll be seeing the bulk of that precipitation through Thursday. Some areas in our region as well, Quesnel and McBride included in that. As we move into Thursday, you could have a few flurries. But after that, it's a pretty calm forecast overall. We are looking at sunshine coming our way through the afternoon tomorrow, so we should see a clearing trend around the noon hour, and that will set the scene as we move forward into the rest of the afternoon and the days beyond that. So 3 degrees for our day tomorrow, 3 up in the Peace, which is great. So we're seeing a bit of an improvement in our temperatures. There's the system that has slid to the south and the southern interior, Okanagan as well, picking up some precipitation. In Vancouver, we'll certainly see a few showers in the mix as we move into Thursday. Our broadcast region tomorrow, the highs are great. 4 degrees Vanderhoof, 3 in Burns Lake. There's the instability as it gets further south of us. McBride and Quesnel will see a few flurries, some periods of snow at times down through McBride. The west coast, Vancouver, 5 degrees, 4 in Edmonton, rain showers there as we see the temperature rising, or the freezing level rising a little bit. -6 in Regina, mix of sun and cloud through the prairies, and further east we go. We're losing the sunshine in many areas and taking some cloud cover and precipitation instead. So -6 in Montreal, -3 Toronto, -4 Halifax, colder than that in St. John's, but a little more sunshine there. Sunny sky for our weekend. As we head towards the weekend, it is going to be fabulous. We've got lots of blue sky in store right after we get to see this system push off to the south, and it doesn't look like there's any sort of real moisture moving into any area of the province really anytime soon. So this is the extended as we move forward right through to next Tuesday for Burns Lake. You're looking at some sunshine, a little bit of snow tonight, but after that, you're in the clear. Lots of sunshine for your day tomorrow. Mackenzie as well, snow at times tonight, and then 0 for the day tomorrow, mostly sunny. Colder for Friday, Saturday. It starts to pick up a little bit or improve a little bit by early next week, but that's where we lose some of the sunshine. McBride, -6, some snow flurries in the forecast for your night tonight and into tomorrow as well. You're looking at 3 to 6 centimeters, so quite a bit of snow here and there throughout the day, but that's about it. After that, you see a nice improvement. Friday looks good with mainly cloudy skies, and then you see the sunshine returning and highs of up to 6 degrees by early next week, if you can believe it. Quesnel, clouds tonight, a few a little bit of snowfall tonight and tomorrow, and then it's sunshine right after that. Next, beginning of next week, a bit of an increase in clouds, but otherwise it looks pretty good. So for us as well, we'll expect more snow tonight, gusty southeasterly winds, 3 degrees tomorrow, some sunshine in the store for the afternoon. The early morning, we could hang on to a few flurries out there, but beyond that, it's a dry and pretty sunny forecast overall.
CKPG Sports is delivered by Domino's. Feed your team tonight with a delicious mix and match combo. Chicken, pizza, pasta, or dessert for just $8.99 per item.
The Caledonia Nordic Ski Club has announced they will host the 2025 Tech BC Cup No. 2 on the February 14th to the 16th. This event will bring together cross-country skiers from across British Columbia for a weekend of competition and community engagement. There will be athletes of all ages and skill levels from across the province, as it will also showcase Prince George and the exceptional facilities at the Otway Nordic Centre. There will be free admission for spectators as it kicks off February 14th with training, followed by sprints on Saturday and wrapping up the interval start on Sunday, the 16th. All right, time for a quick final look at our weather forecast before we sign off tonight. Snow tonight, expected about 3 to 6 centimeters tonight, -3 for a low. Going to be an increase in temperatures tomorrow, though, so 3 degrees, sunshine. It's going to be pretty sunny for the next few days heading into our weekend. Going to be hovering just over the freezing mark for Friday, Saturday, in through Monday, then probably above the freezing mark again for Tuesday. But it looks to be pretty nice next couple days and weekend. Monday, we're going to start seeing some more clouds, but it's still going to be quite chilly Friday, Saturday, Sunday night, with temperatures dropping below -10 on the mercury. But looking overall pretty nice heading into our weekend. Starting our work week off again with some clouds. All right, that's all the time we have tonight. Thanks so much for joining us. But I'm going to be heading over to the CKPG Today Show, so if you wanted to see some more of Adam Birtles and get to know him a bit better, head on over to the CKPG Today Show. That's our show. Thanks again for joining us. Stay safe out there, and we'll have a great night.